between the ocean and the sea. It hides from the eye. Where the warm pinky rocks the deep caves, the grass gardens, and the frankincense trees enclose ample mystery. Other wondrous secrets still lie dormant inside the depth of caves, the realms of wonderment.
I've been very, very impressed with what we found.
And the freshness of water. Dragon's blood tree tells part of the mystery, while another part lies in Hope Cave. It is one of the most four important islands on Earth, surrounded by many myths and much more fans.
It is a jewel, unique.
This is the Island of Wonders. This is Socotra. The Island of Bliss, or the Sacred Land, 500 kilometers distant from the nearest Yemeni coast, a unique island hidden in between the Arabian Sea and the Indian Ocean. We will try together to explore some of its mysteries and various beauties. Welcome to the Yemeni island of Socotra, which is regarded as one of the most four important islands in terms of its biodiversity and as one of the most beautiful spots on Earth. Our journey into Socotra will be an overlook to endless areas of charm and beauty and the movement between its various topographies that make the island distinct and unique. Try to forget all the places that you may have visited before and be ready to get a glimpse of what is different, extraordinary, and variegated.
It's amazing island. It's hard to say, to express all my feelings towards Socotra. Beautiful. When God, whoever is God, made the earth, he played a special game here in Socotra, made it quite different, but beautiful. Well, it's amazing.
Since 1000 BC, Socotra was famous as God's protection center for the religious ritual of the ancient world. It was then a common belief that the land producing a sacred goods as such must have been a sacred and blessed land without a doubt. At that juncture, what was commercial overlapped with what was sacred, and myths were told over the ages. Socotra Island covers an area of 3,650 kilometers, making it the largest Arabian island of all time. The island, alongside a small group of isles situated southwardly, form an archipelago. Despite its limited space, Socotra has a spectacular diversity of topography that vary between high-sloping mountains, flat plains, plateaus, valleys, bays, and even wilderness, and there is a small and unique desert belongs to Socotra. Through its diverse topographies, Socotra represents a small model of the mainland, Yemen. The central plateau occupies most of the island's area, as well as commands a view of the coastal plains in a gradually downward fashion. The mountains are scattered over different sites on the central plateau surface, the most important of which are the mountain range of Hajir, and the highest peak of which is that of Iskand mountain, about 1,505 meters high. Numerous canyons run through the island, follow several passages and directions according to the surface topography, and range from 7 to 24 kilometers in length. The bays form natural harbors, especially when some parts of the island are exposed to strong winds that blow over its plains and its eastern and western parts, usually from early June till late September. Socotra's tropical climate and diverse topography have contributed to its character as one of the most biologically and botanically diverse wildlife spots on Earth. Peter Harrison, a biologist and wildlife advocate, visits Socotra for the first time. Without any moment to spare, he's busy exploring the place he spent a whole lifetime waiting to visit.
I am so delighted to be here on Socotra Island. I have waited all my life to be here. Socotra Island has been a cradle of evolution. In the hills and mountains behind me, there are creatures, there are wildlife, there are vegetation forms that are found nowhere else on the face of the planet. This makes this island absolutely unique.
The vegetation cover of Socotra is astonishing by all measures. Thousands of globally rare species and hundreds of extinct species found nowhere else in the world. The island's long geological isolation and its remoteness from external effects are important factors that resulted in the enormous level of its biological settlement. We never felt bored at all while wandering around the island of bliss and joy. Everything here is just amazing, stunning, and unique.
Nowhere is there another Socotra. People talk of Galapagos Island, people talk of Antarctica, but in all of Africa, this is the most important island to preserve. It has life forms found nowhere else on the planet. There are birds, there are the famous dragon blood trees, there are cucumber trees. It goes on and on and on.
In Socotra, there are over 1,000 of species of the world's rarest plants. So far, 380 species of these plants have been counted as existing nowhere else except in this island. Therefore, the island has a great ecological importance not only to Yemen but to the world at large. Socotra has 10 plant species which are endemic. The International Union for the Conservation of Nature has recorded 7 species of them in its red list of threatened species. Among the most striking endemic species that abound in Socotra are the dragon's blood tree, the ant tree, the frankincense trees, and the aloe and cactus plants. As you wander around Socotra, you will come across many thrills and wonders at this tree that will make you feel as though you are on a different planet. This tree is widespread all over the island, standing as one of the most striking landmarks of the archipelago. The tree is characterized by its huge trunks of gray or golden colors and its stellar-shaped leaves. Its different kinds are locally called asfid, tremo, and siro, which have various uses. The Socatras use some of its kinds for medical purposes, other kinds for livestock feed during dry seasons, and those kinds with long stalks are used to support their houses' roofs. The frankincense tree is the source of one item of the sacred goods that adds up to the island's mythological dimension. It is really astonishing to know that 9 out of an overall 25 kinds of the frankincense tree are found nowhere else but in Socotra. Moreover, frankincense produces still a major source of Socotra's income, as well as a very marketable commodity. Besides, it is still the main source of the very famous incense substance. The dragon's blood tree is emblematic of Socotra Island and its most mysterious secret. The tree had been associated with a lot of myth and tales. Socatras have taken it as source of cosmetic and medicine, as well as an emblem of their own identity. According to one myth, the tree grew from the drops of Abel's blood, who was killed by his brother Cain. The tree had been found on Earth for more than 50 million years, more likely in the Mediterranean region. However, Socotra Island has now become the tree's only habitat on Earth. The dragon's blood tree can survive in times of drought for its ability to retain water in an excellent and unique way. The tree ranges from 6 to 9 meters in height. Socatras have to cut through the tree's stem in order to exude its red resin, which is called phoenix blood. Then it is converted into powder, which is always in great demand for traditional medicine in Yemen and some other Arab countries. The part which is used from the tree is that epoxy resin material, the effective element of which is called Draco, of which the tree may contain an average of 55%. The Draco has been in use for therapeutic purposes, both in ancient and modern times. Yet, it still has so many potential uses to offer. The forests of the dragon blood trees intensely spread across the alluvial or the rocky parts of the island. Many myths surround these unusual trees. In Socotra, there are 52 big and splendid caves hiding many geological and human details. During the wind season that engulfs the island, most of these caverns become a form of habitation for the Socatri Islanders. The longest of these caverns is still under scientific discovery. where experts estimated its total length to be over than 25 kilometers, in the middle of which there is a big lake that could be an important resource for potable water. Socotra's caverns are other gateways to more mysteries and secrets. Our journey will take up to 2 hours to reach the longest, most important and stunning cave in the island, namely Hawk Cave. In order to get to the cave, we had to cut a distance of 3,000 meters up. So, Socotra makes you a passionate mountaineer. On our way to Hawk Cave, we stopped thinking about the hardship of going uphill. All along the way up, there are rare trees and incredibly spectacular plants, some of which germinate from the rocks. The peak of the mountain commands a view to a vast water area and a breathtaking and recurring scenery that will last for a lifetime. An old Spanish lady has reached the cave before us. She and her group genuinely expressed their astonishment from the splendor and glamour of what they have just discovered. She wished to reach farther than what she had reached already. With the help of a local guide and enough lighting, we decided to proceed as far as we could inside this rocky place of wonder. On the walls of the cave, you will definitely be amazed by scenes of the limestone depositions, the stalagmites and the stalactites, and the transparent glassy configurations that reflect different phases of natural changes. Every centimeter of the limestone column took about 10,000 years of formation, according to scientific estimates. Historical facts confirm that the cave was used in the ancient past as a religious place of worship. En route for Asia and Africa through Socotra, the travelers and sailors used the cave for sheltering and for purposes of trading and searching for medicinal and sacred trees that were enshrined in the literature of ancient religions. Manuscripts and palettes inscribed in Musnad alphabet, clay vessels once used for incenses, and other aspects of living were found in the cave. Despite warnings that our Socotri guide was telling us, based on fairy tales about ghosts and demons inhabiting the cave, our team, however, carried on, crossing into the heart of the cave. Over thousands of years, the water drops have been able to make ponds of potable water, and their depositions have formed marvelous artistic configurations of limestone. The archipelago of Socotra represents an independent marine ecosystem. The island's shoreline is stretched for 300 miles. These shores have unique features in terms of geographical structure that differ widely from shore to shore. Some of these shores are palm-fringed, and all of which overlook the ocean water, which is free of pollution factors, making them optimal sites for recreation and scuba diving. The Dehamri Reserve, located in the north of Socotra, is an important natural museum of marine life. It is considered one of the prettiest spots in northern Socotra and characterized by its sandy, rocky, and graveled coastline. These beautiful beaches and other natural manifestations on Socotra shroud a whole new world of mysteries, secrets, and grandeur. A world of coral reefs and marine life that attracts many tourists and divers into coming over from all around the globe. Dehamri is located in the eastern north of Socotra. The Dehamri Cape is the rocky extension of mainland where two red granite mountains lie over it. The area took its name from these two mountains. Aden Socotra language, the word Dehamri, meaning red for two in the intensified case.
You know what's so unique about this system is that very easily accessible from the shore. A shore access. You walk into very clean, very shallow conditions with excellent corals and a wide variety of fish. I mean, if you've dived elsewhere in the Indo-Pacific, you'll know that this is rich, a very rich coral reef fauna. The hard corals are in good condition.
The coral reefs of Dehamri are evolutionary and support the ecosystem of many living creatures and other marine habitats. The Dehamri Reserve represents one of the most important marine protected areas in terms of the great diversity of its coral reef species. More than 80 species of coral reefs have been found, having various kinds and different shapes, such as the rounded-shaped or reef knolls, branched-shaped, cortical, horny, and soft coral reefs, and other more. 150 fish species exist in the Dehamri Reserve, most of which are coral reef fish, making up 25% of the overall number of the fish species recorded in the possession of Socotra.
But what's so impressive for me here is that obviously as a result of this being a marine protected area, many of the fish that disappear with excessive fishing and spearfishing, red snappers, angelfish, parrotfish, are here in big numbers and easily seen either by snorkelers or by divers.
The Dehamri Marine Reserve also contains 16 species of crabs, lobsters, and shrimps. The reserve is prevalent with some special species of coral reefs, sea fish, and shellfish, whose value lies in the fact that they are found nowhere else except here in Socotra. Another beach with a different aesthetic features, the beach of Arhar, which is marked by the beautiful white sand dunes, as well as the fresh water that runs from the cave and directly pours into the sea all year round, crossing the super beach. Lo and behold, the fabulous view. Here, you are going to see other species of marine organisms and funguses, and you will wish to stay longer and longer. Through one prospective study, Socotra can rank a third or second in terms of biological diversity. The islands is listed in the UNESCO Biosphere Reserves. Socotra has parts which are in the Rasmar list of wetlands, one of which is Titwah Protected Area. A recent study of 22 important bird locations in Socotra archipelago recorded 179 species of birds, 41 of which are prolific species permanently inhabiting the archipelago. Another study by the International Bird Protection Organization in collaboration with the Council of Environmental Protection revealed that the Socotra archipelago contains 13 species of endemic birds which are found nowhere else in the world. On a windy day, our team took the risk of reaching the Birds Island, which was within a space of 3 hours from the mother island. What is called here the Rock of Sial Shab is nothing but a stronghold of a huge numbers of birds, some of which are inhabitants of the island, while others are migrant visitors passing through the island from different parts of the globe. In this tiny isle, you will come across a huge variety of birds that adds up to the paramount importance of Socotra as a global natural reserve. Among these bird species are the hovering falcon, the African spoonbill, the pipit, the common nightingale, the Socotra warbler, the Egyptian vulture, the Swedish seagull, and other more. The Egyptian vultures are globally rare and an endangered bird species. It often accompanies the visitors of the island. The vulture waits for its turn to feed on table crumbs and food remains. The vulture does not allow any remains or refuse on the island. That's why the Socotri call it by the title of Mayor of the Island. The Socotri people are themselves another sacred of this island of mystery, or rather, they are like a great secret of its mysterious nature and the single most important part of the wondrous Socotra. Nearly 100,000 inhabitants constitute the island's overall population. The Socotri have their own mother tongue, At-Taman Hadara, a subset of the Mehariya language. Being an island of mystery and wonders, its inhabitants heavily depend on meat and dates as their only staples. Oddly enough, it is interesting to know that the highland dwellers do not eat fish but little, unlike dwellers of the island's coast. The Socotri Islanders are good and peaceful people. They basically work in hunting, herding, and other miscellaneous crafts. They are keenly aware of preserving the nature of their island and to never do it any harm. Not only do Socotras have similar houses, but also similar facial complexions, usually because their lineages meet at one grandparent. They welcome the island's visitors with rare hospitality. Their simple houses are mostly built of stone and thatch, and its doors are made of palm fronds. A typical Socotra house consists of a group of separate rooms, connected by a stone fence. Houses exist in perfect harmony and without any precautions. As a matter of fact, the Socotra style of building the house's doors and walls accounts for another historical secret of this extremely safe island, across whose history a single crime of murder or burglary is unheard of. The island is completely devoid of any predators, vermin, or biting insects. That's why Socotra is an ideally open and rich pasture where people do not need to guard their livestock. Rather, they recognize it the exact same as they do with their children.
Socotra, actually. Well, according to my opinion, it's the most alien island you can ever visit. It has the most wonderful nature, and it's endemic. You cannot see things like here, nothing in the world. Like, there is no such nature anywhere. And also, like, these are the most friendly people you can also meet.
Socotra is also land of falls and fresh water. In Socotra, there is a number of waterfalls, most important of which are Dungeon Falls in the city of Hadibo and Mummy Falls. Most of these waterfalls originate from the mountain ranges all the year round, presenting one more manifestation of the charming nature of the island. Here we realized the actual meaning of the purely fresh water. Every year, thousands of tourists flock to this unique island through its airport. Besides being a tourist resort, Socotra has turned into a paradise destination for researchers and environmental specialists.
I have fallen in love with this place. What is important for the people of Arabia, but not just Arabia, the Yemen, and in particular Socotra, to understand, is how wonderful the island is, how pristine the tops of the mountains are, the mountaintop streams, the birds, the animals. These are things that are found nowhere else on the planet and must be preserved. And it can only be preserved if the people of Socotra understand the value of the place they live.
Socotra is par excellence, the icon of Earth, the catalogue of nature, the museum of the universe, the pure virgin. It is also the archipelago of frankincense. Its mythology are still there between the mountain and the sea, the same as when Adam left behind and the same as when we did.